Hello everyone, today in this video we'll fight against the atmospheric of our world around us, and this time we will just talk about some misconceptions, or just speaking in a very simple way, wrong terms that are commonly used in media, or sometimes even commonly used by some historian and columnist I even respect. I mean, first of these terms, which really drives me crazy and I don't like it because it's so confusing, is the term Western civilization. What the hell the Western civilization about? In so-called West, so Europe, Western and Central Europe, and North America plus Australia, maybe plus South Africa, maybe depends what people think geopolitically. Taking into account all of these territories, historically and even now, there are many civilizations, even when we subtract last influx of populations from the former colonies, even if we take native populations into the account. We have to agree above any doubt that there are many civilizations on these territories that we call West. That's why in my videos I always, when I refer to this term, I'm always saying geographically speaking West. So even when we subtract the recently the populations that recently appeared there from former colonies, and even if we only consider native populations of these territories, we have Latin civilization, Jewish civilization, Byzantine civilization, some Turan civilization, like for instance some Tatar minorities and so on. So we see that even native populations without immigrants, newcomers, are not homogeneous. That's why what the hell Western civilization about? I really don't know. It's really misleading term that doesn't tell much, but only introduces big confusion. But I think it's being used because it's comfortable in the popular sense, in the sense of the typical polemics in the popular text and in the work of the columnists. Another term I found really disturbing and confusing is so-called Judeo-Christianity or Judeo-Christian values. What's Judeo-Christianity? So, if there is something like Judeo-Christianity existing, why don't we have Judeo-Islam or Islamo-Christianity or Ateismo-Islam or Ateismo-Christianity or Judeo-Atheism? Why don't we have this? Why do we have only Judeo-Christian values? It's a really silly concept that has nothing to do with history, because if we read writings of early Christian fathers and later Talmudic Jews, we see that these movements, religious and intellectual movements, were from the very beginning uh, opposite to each other, very often hostile to each other from both sides, because formation of Talmudic Judaism was a response to further developments of Christianity, and early Christianity also has some anti-Judaistic, not anti-Jewish, anti-Judaistic remarks. Of course, because they wanted to differentiate from the Judaism from which early Christianity was originated, and even in the brains awareness of Greek and Roman pagans, Christians were very often regarded as Jewish sect, and very quickly they stopped being one after so-called First Council in Jerusalem that is dated for 49 AD. The Saint Paul and Saint Peter agreed to also organize the missions and convert into Christianity different people than Jewish people, because first Christians were just converted Jews. But okay, it's not a very revealing this what I'm saying now. But the thing is that from the very beginning of Christianity, Judaism and Christianity are opposed to each other and practically are presenting different versions of organization of the collective life. So definition by Felix Konechny. So they are representing different types of civilizations. That's it. That's why saying Judeo-Christian values or Judeo-Christian civilization, even more stupid term, is just following the propaganda views spread by Zionist Christianity, some also influential Judaism groups that use this term to justify some of their policies or decisions. But we should remember that there is nothing like Western civilization, and it never was. Maybe there will be a Western civilization in the future, we don't know. For sure, we don't know what's gonna happen, but for sure, there was nothing like Western civilization, and there is nothing like this still. And there was nothing, and there is nothing like Judeo-Christian values or Judeo-Christian something. It's simply artificial concept, first and the second one. All the best. Have a nice day. Bye.